with like bypassing security systems and stuff. And before I get into like what I like about it, I have to mention that I was really annoyed. It was really soured for me by just one item description, which is a whistle makes everyone deaf, and the item description is a joke at the expense of a deaf actor. Right. And it's just really crap. And at the end of it, it says no disrespect. It's like, if at the end of an item description you're writing you feel like you need to put in brackets no disrespect, what you've written is something that's disrespectful and you shouldn't write it.
Yeah, it's like beginning a sentence with no offence.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm not racist, but yeah, like, that probably is a signifier that you are. I'm hoping, like, this is optimistic, that it's early access and you'll patch it up. But mechanically, the game is incredibly my cup of tea. It's like the open-endedness is comes through mostly through. You start as just like a generic character who has no special abilities, and even that can solve any mission. And they kind of you start with not many items, but you can rummage through like garbage bins and stuff to find it. The video game way of acquiring items. And the simplest tactic for like you need to get to a safe, but like maybe you found a lockpick that you could pick a door to get in there, but the whole building is full of people, and you could kill them all if you had a good enough weapon, or you could. There might be a way to like talk your way in, or the dialogue's like, because it's all randomly generated, the dialogue is not specific to the situation exactly. But like if your objective is to get an item from somebody, you can talk to them and ask them for it, and you can either bribe them with money or give them an item or try other things. But my standard tactic is, if I can find a pack of cigarettes, then I go to the ventilation system for the building on the outside and just put the cigarettes in there, and whatever you put in the ventilation system just is released as a gas throughout the whole building. And whatever it is, regardless, even if it's a positive thing, everyone evacuates the building because they're like, well, there's this fucking gas coming out of our vents. And so they'll just leave the building only for like 10 seconds and they go back in, but that's enough that you can just, if you're willing to brave the gas, whatever it is you put in there, you can just walk in and then you have to run the place. And you can, lockpicking just takes some time, and a lockpick, I guess. That's what I was taught in thief school. But what I mean is any character can do it. Like, there is a thief character, but anyone who has a lockpick can pick a lock. The only disadvantage is that if anyone's around, they're going to obviously get annoyed at you. The sort of like crime and guilt system is it's surprising how well it works, because I know that can be a rabbit hole for games. Like, you get into like, oh, you've done this thing and this guy knows about it and that guy is allied with that guy, and so this happens, and it can get to enough of a mess that you don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I think even Skyrim gets into this. It's just times in the Elder Scrolls games where you're like, why the hell are they mad at me? Or like, why aren't they mad at me? Or a horse saw me steal something. No, I have a bounty.
A mud crab got really annoyed with me because it watched me pickpocket something.
Hey, enough of that. The crime system, they're certainly not perfect, but it's kind of, the art style is very kind of cutesy. Everything is quite simple. And that belies some of the more grim content. So a lot of it comes out through, like I say, you start as like a basic class who doesn't have any special abilities but can do most things. But then there's sort of 20 unlockable characters, and so one of them is just like a gangster. There are two gangs, the Crepes and the Blvds. And if you play as one of those, they're both character classes. I don't know what the pink one does, but the blue one, you can walk up to any other blue gangster and just say, "Hey, you're part of my posse now," and you can have like 3 of them with you, and you can order them to do things, or they'll just back you up in a fight. And then I've unlocked the vampire, and for the crime system, one of the things that's strangely mild on is drinking blood. Like, every character has a special ability, and the vampire special ability is just when you get behind someone, you can just like drink their blood, and while you're doing that, they're kind of immobilized, and it heals you. Interestingly, you can only do it when you are injured, so as soon as you're at full health, you can't do it anymore, and that person will be dazed for a little bit, but you can't finish them off that way. But if anyone else sees you do it, if it's like a gangster and there's another gangster next to it, as soon as you start doing it, they'll attack you, and if it's a cop and the cop sees you doing it, they don't like that. But if it's just like a stranger, if there's someone they're not allied with, they will say, "Go away," as they watch you drink their blood.
Maybe that's because they don't know what blood is. They've only got blood.
Perhaps. These